YouTube. Still sort of on the come down from auto-assembly energies at the moment. Feeling a little bit melancholy like everyone out there, I think. That we've got to wait another year or so before it comes around again. I'm sure it'll be very, very, very quick. But what I thought I'd do is use that energy to do a little bit of a review. I don't know why I neglected to mention him, but there is an item from my haul that I didn't show you in my AA video, and it's bizarre because it's one of my favourite things that I got this year. It's certainly the second biggest bot I got, and I got him for a song. He was dirt cheap. First thing I bought, I think, if I remember correctly. Saw him in a bag, asked if he was complete, and was told he's missing the missiles. For me, that's a bonus. I hate missiles. I think he was something ridiculous, like a tenner. For a bot this big and this good and this beautiful, that's insane. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Universe Depth Charge. Oh, just looking at him on screen there, I'm sort of falling in love with him all over again. Oh my god, is this a beautiful bot. You'll notice I'm starting with Depth Charge in bot mode. There's a reason for that, because as glorious, as beautiful, as incredible as his bot mode is, yeah, get a good look. That's the bad side of Depth Charge. Get a good look at that, because there's a lot of kibble on this guy, and unlike his counterpart, Rampage, his kibble largely counts as kibble. This big ass flap here, this sort of dangly part there, yeah, that counts as proper kibble. Unsightly kibble, unlike the wings, which are not kibble at all. Anyway, Depth Charge, Universe Depth Charge, one of my favourite characters from Beast Wars. He's introduced in the 3rd season of Beast Wars, and he's one of those really interesting Maximal characters who isn't very much like a Maximal at all. He is an utter bastard. He hates pretty much everything. He's a cynical, embittered twat of a Maximal. He turns up because he's hunting Rampage, also known as Protoform X. He has a massive grudge against Rampage. In fact, grudge doesn't really cover it. Is this camera malfunctioning? Oh, you piece of shit. Come on, work. Ah, there we are. It seems to be working now. If there are any oddities in this video, it's because the camera's playing a tit at the moment. What was I saying? Anyway, Depth Charge. Depth Charge hates Rampage with a passion. His grudge for Rampage makes Ahab's for Moby Dick look like nothing, look like small potatoes. Depth Charge was apparently the security officer on some Maximal colony called Omicron, I think, or something like that. And Rampage got loose there and destroyed it and killed everyone. Just for the fun of it. And he left Depth Charge alive, just so he could see the consequences of his failure. And since then, Depth Charge has been hunting him across time and space, trying to kill the bastard. Funnily enough, Rampage doesn't seem to hate Depth Charge at all. He seems to really like Depth Charge. He's quite happy when he turns up in the Beast Wars. He regards Depth Charge as his playmate, which is pretty twisted, and you get some wonderful character development for both of them during that relationship. Ultimately, unfortunately, and yes, there are going to be spoilers here for anyone who hasn't seen Beast Wars, so if you haven't, you might want to fast forward this little bit right here. At the end of the Beast Wars, Depth Charge is told by Optimus Primal to go and stop Megatron from using the Nemesis, the ancient Decepticon warship, from raising it from beneath the sea and using it to destroy the Maximals. Depth Charge actually doesn't do it. He is distracted somewhat from that duty by Rampage, whom he has a good old slugfest with, and ultimately ends up destroying both Rampage and himself in the process. It's probably one of the best action sequences in the entire show of Beast Wars, and Rampage's death is stunningly interesting because he lets Depth Charge do it. He lets Depth Charge ram raw energon right through his spark. He just sits there laughing, and it's just a beautifully ambiguous, exquisite and bizarre ending for them both. So that's the end of Depth Charge in the show. However, he does get resurrected in this form, in which he is not a Maximal, he's an Autobot. He's resurrected along with Optimus Primal and a couple of other Maximals and Autobots to go and fight in the big old universe wars against Unicron and his heralds and all of that business. He's not very happy about it. In fact, he's incredibly pissed off because he apparently found peace in the Matrix, whatever that means. He's not very happy about it at all, so he emerges even more cynical and embittered than before, but a lot more beautiful. As you can see, he now has these stunning paint apps on his wings. I mean, these are the best paint apps I've ever seen on a Transformer. They are just beautiful. He also has this rockin' new colour scheme, which is even nicer than his original one. He looks pretty stunning in that too. Like Rampage has the crab motif, this guy has a whole sort of fish manta ray motif going on. He is absolutely stunning. The kibble really doesn't bother me that much because it gives you something to hold when you're playing with it. I quite like that. He's big, he's sturdy, his joints are gorgeous, and he can be posed in any which way you want. It's a stunning bot mode. He really is good. But for this toy, the pièce de résistance is the manta ray mode. His manta ray mode is without flaw. It's absolutely stunning. He does have an intermediary flight mode, which is the laziest ass piece of shit you've ever seen. So I'm not going to even acknowledge that. Let's get rid of his weapons. He comes with this little thing. This is his weapon. It's a little sort of scout shark thingy, and it can fire missiles out of here, but it can't because I don't have them and I don't want them. He also has a funny little action feature. You see that mouth bit there? There's a trigger back here. You can fire discs out of there. Interesting, not that particularly bothered about it, to be perfectly honest. Now, this is going to be fun because I'm kind of a novice with Depth Charge. I'm not that at home with his transformation, and it's bloody complicated. You have to sort of, this whole assembly flips around. You split his pelvis like that, and then there's this weird ass assembly that comes down with the arse flap on the back, and you just sort of swing it around and the whole thing comes up. But before you do that, you have to get rid of the arms because they get in the way. This is really clever. This is a really clever transformation. To get rid of his little fists, you have to open those things there, and the fists flip round to reveal these turbine things. That's cool. I like that. Where's the other one? Let's get. He's one of those bots. He's a bit more complicated than Rampage. You really have to do this guy in sequence, otherwise he doesn't work. It took me a while to figure out, I must admit. He's not. And bits come off occasionally. Let's put that back on. That's not really an issue. He's not that intuitive, I must admit. It took me a little while to figure him out, but once figured out, the transformation is really satisfying and very cool. Especially this bit. You see this whole undercarriage assembly here? That comes up over the head like that, and then flips down. It sort of scrunches down onto the top like that, and then the legs. Oh, how do I do this now? I'm all getting sort of discombobulated and ass over tit here. The arms are in the right place. Yeah, the tail's in the right place. Now, the legs can fuzzle me a little bit. I think they... Yeah. There are little ports and posts where the pelvis attaches to. If I can get the bastard in. Hang on. There we go. And the legs form the halves of his beast mode. Of his beast mode head, which is really quite cool. Everything about Depth Charge, every inch of his transformation is completely unique. I've never seen anything quite like it on a Transformer before. And along with Rampage, these two really do form the very best of Beast Wars. This guy, Transmetal 2 Black Arachnia, Transmetal 2 Megatron, and Rampage, they are some of the best toys from this range. They are just glorious bits of work. I can't emphasize enough. I found that Depth Charge is a little less liked than Rampage amongst the Transformers community. He does have his detractors, but what do they know? Oh, I've got it done, I think, more or less. All you have to do is get the wing assembly right. Now, the wings are so cool, because they're on these weird joints that sort of go all over the place, and they're massively difficult to figure out. Hang on. I think I've got it. I think I might have it, ladies and gentlemen. Yes! I've got one of his wings. Yay! Did that quicker than I thought I was going to. That's the thing with the wings. In bot mode, they're kind of multiple choice. You decide where they go. Now, let's see if I can do it with the other one. Yes! Yes! They're also a little bit flimsy. You want to be a bit careful with them, because I can sort of see them snapping and breaking reasonably easily. Now, he's pretty much done. There is one thing. No, there are two things, actually. This is really clever. Look, the arms form these turbines at the back. He's got this real sort of mechanical manta ray thing going on. He seems much more overtly mechanical than Rampage and the other Transmetals, actually. His sword becomes the tip of his tail, which is articulated 3 ways from Sunday. You can sort of put that into any pose you like, which is and look at the length. Look at the length on that. That's fantastic. I like to sort of have it in that sort of position, so it looks like he's swimming, and the little sharky thing can fix underneath here via a little hub that just attaches in like that, and that is the glory, the beauty, the wonder that is Universe Depth Charge in his Manta Ray mode. This thing is unbelievable. The design of it is fantastic. It's probably one of the best designed Transformers I've ever seen. The way the bits of the bot mode become bits of the Manta Ray, and it's so... Look underneath, there's hardly any suggestion of the bot. That's stunning. It's solid, it's coherent, and best of all, it's utterly beautiful. Look at those wings. I mean, that just have it hanging around in this mode. The detail, the colours, the Autobot symbol on his head, everything is glorious. There is not a complaint to be had about this mode. For me, it's easily the equivalent of Transmetal 2's Dragon mode or Rampage's Crab mode. It's just stunning. I love it. And a beast mode this good and a bot mode this good more than make up for the shitty half-assed Transmetal mode. Don't care about it, doesn't need it. It's stunning.